What he did was that we were running option football, and he came and he completely threw that out 3 games in. We had been running this offense for probably 12 to 15 years, and in 3 games he realized it wasn't working. He put John Wangler in at quarterback. We went to power passing in that, and I could not believe how brilliant this man was. Our defense was already doing okay. We went to a new offense 3 games into the season that we've practiced. We had an offense that we were running in spring. We had the same offense we were practicing in preseason 2 days. 3 games in, we completely changed it. And then about 2 or 3 games later, the offense started running. I mean, we were just lighting it up. We actually won the national rushing title. Typically it was myself, Butch Woolfolk, and Larry Ricks. We had massive offensive line. 4 of those guys played in the NFL. 2 of them were first-round draft choices, and our defense was just out of sight. That's the year that Bill McCartney introduced dime football, the dime package of college football. So how masterful we were. We were playing Purdue. Jim Herman was the quarterback. Jim Herman had a cannon for an arm, but would not run if his life depended on it. And we figured out, after watching all the film on him, you rush one person, he's not going to run. So we rushed 3 and put everybody in coverage. And it took him almost a quarter to figure out what was going on. And that offense got Bill McCartney the head coaching job at the University of Colorado. A lot of people don't know that. But we went out there, we shut out the last 5 teams we played in regular season. Nobody scored on us. We're going out to the Rose Bowl. We're feeling pretty good, but we have a monkey on our back. We had never won. We didn't know what to expect. And so we're playing the University of Washington, and we thought we felt pretty good, but Bo Schembechler is a man that always learns. And we all can learn a little bit from that, because he was a stubborn guy at first. Because when we went to the Rose Bowl my freshman year, when I was fortunate enough to start it, we put one out there 3 weeks before the game. We practiced 2 days up until the week of the game. And as excited as I was going to my first Rose Bowl, I was really ready to come back home because I was tired. He changed the whole program when we got to my senior year going out there. We were fresh. We went out there a little bit late. We had built this indoor football facility so Anthony Carter wouldn't get homesick and run back to Florida. And so we stayed a little bit longer. And so we were ready to go. And winning that first Rose Bowl game was just, oh, so sweet. And I couldn't tell you how we felt, because some of you former players say none of us were able to do it. We're so proud of you to be part of one of the first Rose Bowl winning team. And I thought that was great. That was euphoria to me. There's nothing like being a parent, sitting in the stands and watching your child play. Now, when Braylon came out of high school, he was not a real highly recruited guy. He would lie to you and tell you he was a 3-star athlete, but he wasn't. He was only a 2-star. And he almost didn't get a scholarship to go to Michigan. It was a sense that he played in Division IV, Class B. He went to Bishop Gallagher High School, 200 kids in the entire school, co-ed school, 18 guys on the whole football team. 3 of them were never going to play because they were like this short and like 100 pounds. So he had to play all the time, so he didn't get a chance to have a lot of statistics. He was moving around a lot. He was big and he was fast, but nobody knew how good he was. I knew he had a good skill set. But Braylon was ready to play, and when he got there, he did pretty well his first year. But the first time I saw him come out of the tunnel and touch the banner up, that was pretty special. That was pretty special. It was another special time, too, as a parent. I'm going to tell you about that in a minute. But one thing when you sit up there and you get a chance to watch your son play and you watch him grow, he had to become the kid who was excited about being there to the guy he became in his senior year. In between there were some bumps in the road. There was a few hurdles to go over. Because sometimes as young people, we don't always know what we want. We think we do. We think we got it figured out. So he used to come home, "Damn, Dad, we do it this way now. It's not the same like this." It's like, okay, son, whatever you say. Ever happen to any of you guys? Yeah. And so sometimes we have to always remind our kids that we've been their age and they've never been ours. Sometimes they listen and sometimes they don't. And the saying is true, because Braylon and I now, we obviously, he's 27 years old, we have different conversations. Man, I'm the smartest guy he knows now. Really? Where did that happen? What? And so watching our young people grow up is just an ecstatic. And I feel so lucky and embarrassed to have my son play at University of Michigan, where I played at. Not only that, not only to make the team, to do okay. It was a problem watching him play his senior year, and we're playing Michigan State in Michigan Stadium. We're down, and I forget the score because I was so angry to this day. Was it 25 to 27 to 3 or something like that in the fourth quarter? They're not throwing Braylon the ball. We're losing. I'm angry. True story. I stand up, it's the beginning of the fourth quarter, and I start somewhere. So my wife said, "What are you doing?" "My car keys." She said, "Where are you going?" I said, "I'm going to the car. We're losing, and they're not throwing Braylon the ball. Why am I here?" I was hot. She said, "Sit down." Now I'm really angry. We're losing to Michigan State. They're not throwing my son the ball, and I can't go to my own damn car. So I'm pissed. And so for all those of you who remember the game, that they started coming to him, and he had a pretty phenomenal game. And so that kind of elevated Braylon to the status of being a pretty good potential football player. Because the year before that, he thought about coming out of school, wanted to play pro ball. "Dad, should I come out?" "No, I don't know. You think you're good enough?" You know. And it was his decision to come back. Because he was honest enough for himself to say, "I need to get better. I know there's some things I can do." And one reason I really admire him, because the year he was coming out, there were 7 wide receivers drafted in the first round that year, the year he was considering coming out, which was his junior year. And we knew there would be a lot, and he may have been somewhere in the middle or maybe the later first round, early second round, and this is a business. We're trying to find out, trying to monetize this, how much money can you make? So he decided to come back to school, but he didn't come back and figure because just through attrition, with those guys leaving, he would be automatic top 10 pick. He came back and worked twice as hard. I was a bigger fan of his. Because sometimes we come back and like, "Oh yeah, I'll just kind of go through the motions." He didn't do that. He went to work. He went to work. And so after his senior year, we knew he was going to be drafted pretty high. So the combine, he did well in that and all that. So it's time to go to the draft. Now we really think we're important people now. So ESPN's following us around. We go to Radio City Music Hall. Day of the draft. We're in New York. His agent gets a call. The first 5 picks, San Francisco 49ers, Miami Dolphins, Cleveland Browns, Chicago Bears, Tennessee Titans. Well, we knew that the first pick, they needed a quarterback. Braylon was considered the best player in the draft. Which way would they go? New head coach, sometimes head coaches get quarterbacks just so they can buy a few years. What we got to teach them? Second team was Miami Dolphins. That's where we really thought Braylon was going to go. Miami Dolphins at number 2. Third, Cleveland Browns. He didn't want to go to Cleveland. I didn't want to go to Cleveland. It's in Ohio. You get that, don't you? And prior to the draft, the Cleveland Browns asked Braylon to come back to Cleveland and did a personal workout 1 week for the draft. Braylon says, "I'm not going." I'm like, "No, son, you better go. You're not that good." He said, "I'm not going." His agent said, "No, he don't need to go. If they want him to draft, if they want to know about him, they should draft him. He's not going to be there anyway. They need to trade him to get him." And so I'm getting a little hot because now I got another man in my life trying to tell my son what to do that I've been all my life. And I have to sit back and listen to this. I'm like, hold on now. Ego, this is a business decision. If these people are going to ask you to come, you need to go. I got voted out. Okay. I told his agent, if he slides past 3, I don't want to go back to jail.